I don't know what's crazier, a guy clinger or a female clinger. I think they're different acts of crazy.
Yeah, I think.
Have you ever had like a stage 4 clinger?
Yeah. I've had clingers outside of my relationship. I've broken up with girls and the girl's still clingy. And we are back with the Happy Hour podcast. My name is Cousin P, in the place to be with May May. And today we're talking about love languages.
Mm-hmm.
Talk dirty to me. No, not that type of love language.
Not that one. We're talking about the 5 different love languages.
Yes, we are talking.
Definitely not the first one. No.
And we're talking about the 5 love languages. I believe Gary Chapman is the author of that book there, and I've taken the test before.
Mm-hmm. I never have.
You never have until we put this one on the roll to talk about.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think this was probably my 4th time taking it. So
have they been how? Well, we'll get into that. But
yeah,
I'm just curious about the results.
We'll talk more about that. But today we are actually not going to be sipping on any type of alcoholic beverages. I need to take a break from alcohol today.
Had to cut them off.
Yeah. I was getting a little too turned up. No, just kidding. On a serious note, I do deal with social anxiety. So, some days I can't partake in things that will increase that anxiety. So today is one of those days.
Water it is.
There we go.
Water for me.
H2O.
Yeah.
Well, except for I'm drinking on the energy drink, so I guess that doesn't.
I don't know if that's any
I kind of
better.
defeats the purpose, right?
So instead of the anxiety in your head and stuff, now it's just going to be in your heart.
I know.
You're going to be racing all the time.
Exactly. At least it'll keep me awake. So there we go. But first off, thank you everyone who's listening. If you are listening right now on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button and the bell for the notifications. Also like the video if you like the topic. And for those who are listening on the streaming services, once again, follow our page so that way you get notified anytime we post. Mm-hmm. On our pages, we post a lot of content. It's going to be not just Happy Hour podcast, but also Simply How I Think as well. So you want to stay tuned on that.
It's a really fun podcast.
It is.
Yeah, I was a guest on it last week.
Oh,
And it was really, really fun.
Yeah. Oh,
yes.
No, she killed it. It was a great conversation about just a lot of different stuff. So
yeah.
That's kind of what we do over there. But over here, we're talking about love languages today. Now, the reason why I really wanted to talk about this, now, I remember our first conversation about love languages was, I would say 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
You were in a different relationship at that time, and you were kind of like telling me
struggling, and so I was like, "How do I fix this?" And then you told me about the 5 love languages, and I was like, "Okay, I've never heard of this before. This is interesting."
Because it really simplifies, or I guess puts it in better words, like our needs. Because every partner or every person you're with has different needs.
Yeah.
Based on how they are raised or based on what they're used to or just overall what type of people they are. So I thought it was a good conversation to talk about because not a lot of people know what the love languages are. Mm-hmm. I also feel like there's a lot of misconceptions about the love languages.
Yeah.
I
have some. We've had this conversation about it before, so we'll talk about it again.
Exactly. So this is just, let you guys in on what we've already talked about before. So what are the 5 love languages? Do you know them off the top of your head?
Receiving gifts.
Okay.
Acts of
service.
Physical time.
Physical touch.
Physical touch. Time together.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say gift giving already?
I think you did. You might have.
You know what?
You said gift receiving.
Same thing. So gifts, physical touch, quality time, acts of service, which is the one I was thinking of, and words of affirmation.
There we go. So those are the 5 there. And just to give it like a brief overview. So quality time is, obviously it's in the title, having quality time with your partner. Mm-hmm. Acts of services are like doing your partner a favor, like helping them with the dishes or helping them with a task, things like that. Physical touch is anything that's, it could be sexual, non-sexual physical touch, so like a hug or a kiss on the cheek, holding hands, things like that. Receiving gifts any type of gift, Christmas, birthday, or for no reason at all, drop a rose on her doorstep, or do a Kanye and bring a whole ass truck to her house.
No, that's
It's a-
horrible advice. Don't. That's horrible.
Maybe he was reading into Kim's love languages. We don't know that.
Kim can buy her own stuff. She doesn't need roses. She doesn't need roses. I don't think that's her love language.
I think.
Oh, that'd be interesting to guess celebrities' love languages. Like, oh,
I
mean,
bet.
What gift do you give them?
I think you still give. I think you give them the simple
things.
things.
Yes, you don't.
I feel like if I was rich and famous, I would, because everyone would be shower me with like these extravagant gifts.
Is that how you think it would be?
I think I would actually I think so. Like, think about it. Like, what?
That's true. Celebrities get endorsements and stuff, free gifts all the time.
And not even just that. Like, what's the name? Drake bought, I think, Quavo a fucking a Rolls Royce for his birthday. You know, something crazy like that.
I wish I had friends like that.
I bet you do. But then until you pay that insurance bill, and then you're like, you know what, Drake, you go ahead and take this the Rolls Royce back.
Didn't we have this conversation
kinda.
about gifts? And yeah, we talked about that too.
But and then the last one is words of affirmation. This is just that, you know, extra positive encouragement that you give your partner, tell them, you know, sweet nothings about, you know, how you feel about them and things like that. And these are what people, and just to, you know, clear it up, these are what people do to you, not what you do for others, right? That's a different thing. So like your love languages are what you receive from somebody else, like how you feel loved. And then there's your love language on how you actually like the way that you show love. And the crazy thing is usually they're kind of different, but you know, we'll get into that there. Now, before we talk about our results, did you have any predictions on what you would be? I'm just curious.
Yeah, you know, I honestly thought quality time would be my number one.
Okay. You don't tell me what your number one is yet. So you thought quality time was your number one. What did you think was your number two?
Honestly, so it was like 40% quality time is what I thought. I tried to break it down in percentage. So 40% quality time, and then 20% words of affirmation and acts of service. So what is that? That's 80% right there. And then 10% physical touch and gifts. I mean,
okay, so you thought your physical touch and gifts were going to be like the bottom of the barrel?
Yeah, maybe I would say maybe 15% physical touch, 5% gifts. I think that's better actually.
Yeah.
That's more accurate. Cuz honestly, I feel like all of these are my love languages. Like I like I wouldn't be opposed to any of these.
Yeah.
You know? So it was really hard to take this quiz because I was like, "Oh, what's more meaningful?" And I'm like, "They're both really meaningful." It was hard to choose.
Yeah, the quiz is kind of difficult. I mean, just to be real, because like, especially when they put two like things on the because basically the way that they do the quiz is, it's multiple choice, but you only get two options, right? So they ask you which one is more meaningful to you, right? And then they'll give you two different examples. Like it'll be receiving a hug from your partner,
or them telling them that they love you.
Yeah, or them telling them that they love you. And then you got to choose which one is more meaningful to you.
Yes, it's kind of hard.
Yeah, and I think all the questions too are actually weighted different, you know. So like if, for example, I think something like hug may be weighted less than something like being touchy-feely throughout the day.
Yeah.
Because those both fall under physical touch.
Yeah, they're essentially the same thing.
Yeah. And the reason I think that is because I felt like I answered more questions. Like I clicked on more things for something like physical touch, but it wasn't my top. So what I thought it was going to be, typically for me, quality time is my number one. And I thought that was going to be like around 40%. Okay. Right. And then in the recent, in the past when I've taken it, physical touch is usually my number two. And physical touch is actually pretty high on the poll too, like at like 25%, something like that.
That's your results now, or what you're guessing?
That's what I guessed, because that's usually what it is, right? So it's usually those two take up a good majority of all the other ones. And then number three usually is words of affirmation. I want to say that usually fell like around 15%, right? So now we're looking at
math.
We're looking at 60%. And then after words of affirmation, acts of service usually takes up the rest. And then it would leave gift giving at 0%. That's usually what it was.
It's a good way to not figure out the number 100%.
I know. No, but that's honestly, that's usually what it was. Like anytime I saw like gift giving, like that's not.
Well, because you are the type of person that just buys yourself. If you want anything, you just buy it yourself. And you like giving gifts.
I do.
You like giving gifts to
Right.
Jasmine. So.
Right. So like that's actually like my number one way of, well, that's not my number one way. That's probably like my number two way of showing love to someone is by gift giving. My number one way is physical touch. Like that's how I show love, is by touching and by, showing my affection via action.
I don't know. I feel like mine. It just depends. I mean, I can do all of this and enjoy doing all of this for my boyfriend. So I don't know.
Well,
That's kind of
it's
hard.
not really about like what you enjoy or what you don't
But
enjoy.
I'm willing to do it. Some people won't be willing to do that stuff. I'm willing to do.
But which ones come naturally to you? Like, if you were to put anyone, I guess, at number one or in number two, which ones usually come way more natural to you? Like, without thinking, how do you usually show love?
I like doing like little cute gestures, romantic gestures.
Okay.
I love doing that kind of stuff. Physical touch, I'd say, would be number 2.
Okay. When you say like romantic gestures, you're talking about like, I mean, because romantic gestures could be dropping roses
pretty
on someone's
I
door.
guess maybe what?
It's a pretty wide spectrum.
Oh, okay. So I guess I don't know. Like if I just think I guess maybe it's gift giving.
Okay. So you say number one's probably gift giving.
If I get something and I think of you, then I'll get it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. That's kind of hard. I like doing it all. So
Yeah.
I can't really say what would be number 1.
Admittedly, it is hard to look at yourself like that. Like, the only reason why I know is because I've been told. Like, I've been told, like, by Jasmine, like, all right, this is usually the way you always show me, like, affection. And
What'd she
sometimes
say?
that physical touch is definitely,
Physical
like,
touch?
my number one. So, let me go ahead and hop into my results. So,
Yeah,
this
let's
is
hear
what
it.
I got. Okay. And I'll be honest with y'all, I was super surprised by my results. So, at number one, as expected, quality time. But it came in actually at 32% and not 40. Okay. And honestly, that's right on par. Every single time I've ever taken this test, quality time has always been number one.
Mhm.
That's and
This is what it is.
it is what it is because it's true. Like I absolutely love spending time with my partner regardless of what we're doing.
Choose your partner in crime.
But this is the big shock. Okay.
Okay.
So usually at number 4, when I've taken it in the past, is acts of service.
Mhm.
But acts of service is now actually number 2.
You do.
It's crazy, like, because and I think it's
Yeah.
so me and my wife, we've been together for 6 years, married for 3. Well, we'll be celebrating our 3rd year coming up in September. But I think you're right. Like I
Wow.
think it's because I do so much now that
Maybe you kind of want it in return
it's not that I'm not getting it, but I think it means more so because
because you do it. You understand it.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
think there's like whenever you do something a lot, like it takes a mental, physical, and emotional toll on you.
Mhm.
When someone kind of helps carry the burdens,
It makes
means
it so much easier.
yeah. So
Oh my gosh.
I think that as I've gotten older, the things that I used to do quite frequently have kind of worn me down. So
Mhm.
now it does more for me emotionally when she helps out. So that was number 2.
Mhm.
Number 3 was, and this has never changed. It's always been number 3, just like quality time, words of affirmation.
Mhm.
At
what percentage?
At 19%,
What was active service?
29%.
29.
Yeah.
You got like okay.
And then
okay.
tied with words of affirmation at 19% was physical touch at number 4, which is why I think they weigh the questions differently.
Mhm.
It may not have been 19%. They may have like rounded up to like 19% from like 18.7 or something like that. But
Mhm.
that came number 4. And that once again was a big shock because that has always been my number 2. And, I think maybe because I'm 30 years old now, like, 6 years ago, I wanted to get it in at all times. But now it's like,
There's things to do.
it's not just that, man. It's like you're dry. I don't understand
You're
it.
getting
Like,
old. You need some help.
well, it's like you're,
Just kidding.
it's like, well, no, straight up. Like, it's like your sex drive kind of like changes a little bit. You know what I mean? Like sex isn't
Want,
not,
want.
honestly, I feel like Al Bundy. Like like I don't want sex every day. It's like
What, he's all stomping when he has to go up there with his wife.
yeah, because she's like what was it? Married with kids,
Married with children.
married with children.
Yeah.
His wife, she was always in the mood, and she would
She
always
looked
make.
good too. She was looking good.
God, she looked bad.
And he was always complaining. I'm like, sir, you have a hot wife.
Man,
What is your problem?
even though it's an older show, I got turned on to that show when I was like a teenager. So obviously, I had I thought I had a good perception of what sexy was. So, every time she popped on and she was like trying to make a move and he was all frustrated, I was like, what you doing, bro? Like, you better
You
get
got
up
a
in
good
there.
one. You see these other housewives on these other shows, you're lucky you got a good
Yeah,
one.
man, you better get up there and mash them cheeks, bro. Like, what you waiting for? But no, I get it now. I think it may even get worse as I get older. But number 5 at 0%, which has always been the case, is receiving gifts.
So what? If she gets you a gift, she's going to get all mad?
No, see, once again, it's not like what you don't like. It's like what is least important to you. When I like gift
That's
giving,
true.
receiving gifts doesn't. I'm pretty content. Like you said, if I want something, I usually go out and get
Yeah.
it myself. So it's like if someone gives me something, it's not that I'm not unhappy. It's just I don't feel like I needed it at that moment.
That's true, because for your birthday, when I was trying to get you something for your 30th, it's an important
I told you not
birthday.
to give me nothing.
I had to ask Jasmine. Jasmine helped me out because you told me nothing, and I was like, you can't do that for your 30th. Because, I expect to get it for my 30th birthday. I'm just letting you know.
Okay.
I'm
That's
letting
the truth.
Jody needs to listen. Jody needs to hear. Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
Truth
I
is
mean, it's a
coming
couple
out.
years. It's a couple years away from now, so I'm just saying. Just saying.
It'll be a couple years from now from forever. Like, how, like every girl's like, oh, I'm 28, turning 28 again. Are you going to be
I'll
one
be
of those?
honest with my age, because I'm thinking I'm going to look good when 30's not old. I'm joking, making it sound horrible. 30's not old, but I feel like I'm going to age very well. So I'm fine with it.
I was ready
I'll
for
own
30.
It.
I was ready for 30. I was like, you know what? Like, it's
And
going
then
to
it
happen.
hit you, and the next day you were just like, I don't want to do this.
No, I just like
Got
what
tired.
hit me was like all the changes. And it wasn't like the changes happened immediately after I was turning 30. It was like, this is like all been a build up.
Was your knees snap, crackle, pop now?
Yeah, my knees have issues.
You
know,
get up
like,
and you make all these noises.
not good. Yeah, getting up is
my
like
dad.
getting up is.
Oh my
is
God, he
work.
sounds like a bear getting up, dude. It's crazy.
Now, what were your love languages? How about
Okay.
you?
Okay, so my love languages. Okay, so it was 30% acts of service was my first one,
Okay.
which, yes, I can see that now. It shocked me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
My past relationships, they kind of never did stuff like that. And my
Right.
current one, he is constantly doing stuff
Yeah, helping
for
them
me
out-
to help me out
yeah,
or
yeah.
whattever. So
I can see that. Yeah,
for
absolutely.
me now, I guess it is more important.
Mm-hmm.
So that was number one. And then I had a 3-way tie with
A 3-way tie.
yeah, so it was 20 it was
shit.
20% physical touch,
Mm-hmm.
quality time, and words of affirmation.
Okay, which one? Like, so what order did it put it in? So which one was number 2? Which one was number 3? And which one was number 4?
Okay, so
Or was it in just in the order that you just read off?
well, these little symbols. Okay, so the words of affirmation was next for 20%. Physical touch was next, and then quality time was after that, which is weird to me because I love quality time. I'm always wanting to hang out with him.
Yeah.
Always. Any spare time I have, I want to be around him.
Yeah.
So, and then last was mine are all even. That's why I asked you like what they were, and then 10% gifts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it doesn't mean that you don't enjoy quality time just because it was
Whoa.
weighted number 4. It just means
Just surprised
that-
me is all.
Well, it just means that those other things take more precedent. You know what I mean? Because like the whole purpose of it is to kind of, I guess, tell like what areas of your relationship is kind of deficient. You know, or what
So you can
areas
try
are
and fix
full.
it.
Yeah. Now let's talk about our partners because this also too shocked me. Now, in recent past, my wife, her love languages usually were number 1, quality time. I can't remember. I'm not going to give you the percentages, but usually was number 1 quality time. Number 2 was something like acts of services. Number 3 usually was words of affirmation. Number 4 was like gift giving, and then 5 was physical touch. right? Which made it kind of difficult at the beginning of our relationship because, like I said, I'm a very physical guy when it comes to showing my affection.
It must have had to
And
like grow, you know.
oh my God, it made her so uncomfortable because like
Poor
I was so
Jasmine.
huggy and touchy, and she just wasn't. Like she didn't
She's
want.
probably like, get the fuck
Oh my
off me,
God.
dude. Like he wants to hold hands all the time.
All the
What is
time.
this?
But hers now
Uh-huh.
are quality time.
Number one.
Okay, at number one.
What percentage?
30%.
Okay.
And that's once again stayed the same. I'm not sure about the percentage, but yeah, that's pretty much stayed the same. Number 2 is words affirmation. So that actually bumped up. Usually that would be at number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Number 3, this is the shocker. Maybe all my touchy feeliness worked.
You're wearing
But
off on her.
right. But number 3, she's physical touch, which is crazy because it was number 5 for the longest time. And then because my physical touch meter has now dipped, that's what I think it is. I think
You just gave it to her.
no, I don't. Well, yeah, maybe, but I think also too. I think because I'm less sensual, like physically, I think maybe now because of how long I was that way, maybe she's feeling more of like a yearning for it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That makes sense.
you know, like I said, we've been together for 6 years. So like if she's used to things being one way for so long and then all of a sudden like now my
It's
body's
changing.
changed. Yeah, I get that. So she's at physical touch 17%. Number 4, acts of service, which typically was always number 2. And I think that's once again plays into all the stuff that I do. Right.
You naturally do for her, so it kind of makes the other stuff more important.
Yeah.
She just sees it and values it. Maybe she just hasn't seen it before, like for the same situation I was in. Acts
Right.
of service is way more important because I'm in a relationship that shows that behavior.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah,
makes sense.
it just weighed it down. Yeah, absolutely. And then hers last one at 10% was receiving gifts. So
You guys do some really cool vacations though and stuff. So I mean, it kind of makes up. You guys do some cool stuff, travel and all that type of stuff.
yeah, every now and again. It's
Yeah,
been a
it's
minute
still
since
some
we,
cool
yeah,
trips though.
it's been a minute since we traveled. I think the last time we've gone anywhere was Napa. You know, we stayed out there and ate the best food I've ever had in my whole entire life.
I
But
want to go. I've never been to Napa.
oh God, you know, my perception of Napa was always like it's going to be a whole bunch of middle-aged, you know, blonde chicks getting drunk and shit at the wineries and,
Yeah.
and doing stupid stuff.
Woo!
But it's nothing like that. It was a good time. It was a good time. Like besides the wineries, the food was the best part.
Oh,
you know?
see, I've never been to a winery before. I feel like I would get shit faced, just absolutely shit faced. I know you're not supposed to drink it, right?
Hell yeah, you
Aren't you
drink
supposed
it.
to like
What do you-
taste it and like spit it out?
Well,
That's
for
wine
tastings.
tasting.
Yeah.
Wine tasting.
It's a different thing.
That's what you're supposed to do so you don't get drunk.
No, I drink that shit. What you talking
Okay,
about?
okay,
Like-
you drink it, but
like
that's
if I-
not.
If
That way
it's
you drink
that-
it, but that's not what you're
You
supposed
pay
to
to
do.
get in, so I'm not. You think
I'm
I'm
getting fucked up.
I'm like, bro, I don't give a fuck if people look at me weird too. Like it's like, oh, look at this
Double
black.
fisting
Yeah,
it.
look at this black
One
man.
drink
Like
here,
he
one
ain't following the
drink here.
rules. Like hell no, I'm not following the rules. I pay for this shit. Like, bro, come on.
That's so funny. Sorry, we totally sidetracked.
Let's hear Jody's.
Okay, so I don't know his. He sent me his in a Snapchat.
Oh, so this is all
This is gonna be a
surprise.
surprise. So I'm gonna be reacting to it in real time.
That's funny.
Need to save it so it doesn't disappear.
Watch it disappear.
I'd
And
be
you're
so
like,
upset.
fuck.
Okay, so his was 33% quality time,
Mm-hmm.
which makes sense. We are always hanging out together. 30% physical touch. I can totally see that. Totally. 17% words of affirmation.
Okay.
He's a pretty confident person, so I for me, I like it just because it makes me feel more secure. I feel like he's more secure.
But I don't think. See,
I know it's not just attached to that, but that's how I see it for me.
Okay.
That's how I see it.
I think people just want to hear, you know, sweet nothings and hear that they're loved and all that stuff.
I don't
you
know. I don't know. Yes and no.
Yeah.
Yes
Jody,
and no.
Jody has a soft side.
He does.
He just wants to be loved.
He's just fine. He's taken care of. And then 13%. What is this symbol?
That's acts of service.
Acts of service. That was my duh. Yeah, I could see that. He's pretty self-sufficient. He usually does everything on his own. He doesn't really ask for help, nor really need it. And then 7% would be gift giving.
Okay.
His makes total sense to me. It fits him perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have not met anybody that has gift giving above 3. Like usually everybody's gift giving is either like 4 or 5. That's it.
So
So I mean, it kind of makes
mine was 10 and Jasmine's was 10.
no. I'm talking about like on in most important to least important. It was
Oh.
usually the 4th to 5th most important thing, as in the
Well, all
least.
of us gift giving was last.
Yeah, every single one of us.
Mhm.
So like, me and my wife are not the only people I've ever seen take the test. Like I've recommended the test to other people before, and they've
Mhm.
told me what their results are. And yeah, usually gift giving is right there at the bottom.
Well, it's hard because I always thought, okay, this is what we were talking about, kind of like the bad part of the understanding of the love languages. For me, in my head, if gift receiving is way up there, then you kind of seem shallow because it's like it's not. Is it really just about relationships, like the gifts and everything? But I've also never been in a relationship where I just have someone buy me gifts, so I don't know. I haven't experienced it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. It's weird.
I don't think there's such thing as a toxic love language. I think you love what you love based off of how you were raised. Because that plays a big role.
Part.
Like I feel like I am affectionate physically because my parents were affectionate physically. Like when the way that they expressed love to one another was hugs and kisses and stuff like that. And they weren't
healthy.
Yeah, I mean they weren't the type of parents that like hid that stuff. Like like
some
parents don't kiss in front of their children, which I always found like was kind of strange. Like
that's weird. Like not to show any like affection. Like just
it is yeah.
It's weird.
It is healthy.
I never understood it.
But because I saw it a lot, that was I think that's why one of my main love languages is that. My family, we spent a lot of time together. So I think that's why quality time.
It's very important.
I grew up in a Jehovah's Witness household. So
no holidays.
I'm not going to say we didn't have any holidays because my family's blended religiously.
Okay.
And sometimes we would partake in some of the stuff, but it wasn't very often. And even when we would, it wasn't like there was a whole bunch of gift giving, or gifts coming our way. I didn't really have birthday parties growing up. So like that's never been a part of my life, right?
Yeah.
Like receiving gifts from people. That's never been something that I experienced growing up. So I think now it's just kind of like, cool. Thank you for getting this gift. This is awesome. And then
you have to experience. Oh my God. You have to experience the holidays. They're so fun. I'm totally opposite. I love the holidays. Oh my God.
The holidays make my stomach hurt.
Parents have made the holidays everything for me.
The only holiday I like is Thanksgiving because you usually have 3 football games.
Well, that one would really make your stomach hurt, but the other ones are really fun.
You got food and you got family. And usually you hang out with the family members that you like. So
taking that walk right before you eat.
But to get back to toxic love languages.
Yeah.
Really, if you think about it, all of them. Okay, so let me answer it like this. I don't think that a love language in itself can be toxic, but I think at a certain level it can be.
It can become toxic.
Yeah, think of it like this.
Intentions. It depends on what your intentions are.
Not just your intentions, but I think at a certain percentage, it's now an extreme, at an extreme level. I'll give you an example.
Okay.
Let's say with quality time. Okay. I need to be around you all the time. Ooh. Right? Let's say someone
give me a break.
Let's say someone got 50% on quality time.
I feel like
that's like the majority.
A clinger would be like a good 70% quality time.
And clingers can be controlling. You know what I'm saying?
They're crazy.
Like that's
I don't know what's crazier, a guy clinger or a female clinger. I think they're different acts of crazy.
Yeah, I think.
Have you ever had like a stage 4 clinger?
Yeah. I've had clingers outside of my relationship. I've broken up with girls and the girl was still clingy. I have never dated a girl and the girl was clingy. I think
it's toxic.
I think. I mean, I've never dated a man, so I can't answer that question. But I have in my life. I feel like I've been a clinger maybe at one point. I don't know. I gotta really think about that. But I know I've definitely dated some clingers,
Uh-huh.
and that shit is kind of gets scary in a different way. Because like I feel like when men are clingy, they do a lot of physical shit. Like
That's what I was gonna say. Men are more scary and women are more crazy.
yeah, and like
You
yeah,
know?
women will fucking key your car
They'll be
because you
at your
didn't,
window.
or call you 18 times because you didn't answer within a 5-minute window, or
Where are
accuse
you,
you
babe?
of cheating because you came home 10 minutes late. I mean, that's like, it gets really emotional.
It gets really toxic.
Yeah. So I think all love languages at a certain point get toxic. I do think that gift giving and even physical touch, they both have like a negative stigma to it, right? Especially, I think it depends on what sex is doing it, right? So women who really want gift giving or gift receiving, they may be seen as shallow, like you said, right?
Yeah.
But then a man who wants more physical touch may be seen as someone who's just a horn dog or thinks with the wrong head all the time and just wants sex out of you.
That's true.
But we can't help what we want. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you can just
Like,
be respectful about it.
yeah, and
Boundaries and shit.
that's what I was just about to say. I mean, that's like the most important part is boundaries, because you can't use your love language as a weapon. You know what I mean? Like where it's like, hey, my number one love language is physical touch, and you haven't touched me in a long time, so you need to start doing it, or else like
If you don't give me a gift, I'm gonna stop sleeping with you.
yeah, that type of shit. Like
That type
the
of shit
reward
is
system.
toxic.
That shit is bad.
That is so bad. If you're in that situation, you need to leave. You need to run and get the fuck out of there.
And first off, actually, to add on to that, ladies, sex is not a reward. I'm just gonna put that out there. It's not a
It's a
reward.
good prize, but it's not a good
Yeah,
reward.
that's a good
prize.
that's a good statement. It's a good prize, but it's not a reward. It really isn't. Like to use that shit like to dangle it, like, oh well, if you don't do this, then I'm not gonna, like, no, that's wrong.
Yeah.
Because I could use other shit as a reward system too. Like, I'm not gonna spend quality time with you unless
You
it's
do
us
this for me.
You know,
Pay my
doing
bills.
some other shit.
There's always the double standard.
Exactly.
It really is though, and it's really dumb.
Exactly. So respect one another. Now, if someone isn't catering to your love languages, is that kind of like a breaking point though? So like, have you ever been in a situation or a relationship where, I don't know, let's say your quality time was your number one, right?
Mm-hmm.
If quality time wasn't being met, what happens? Like if you weren't getting what you need in that department, do you start to pull away?
Yeah, definitely. In the past, probably like when I was really younger, I always like gave chances because I was like,
Yeah.
oh no, I can see he's gonna change. I realized, that's a bunch of bullshit, and so I stopped doing that. So if I feel like there's distance, I will address. Well, one, I will address it.
Okay.
I definitely like talking things out. I have this rule, I don't like going to bed mad at people.
I do that shit all the time.
I hate that shit. And there's
I gotta sleep on
some
it.
situations, of course, people that I don't like, that whatever. And me and my sister do fight occasionally, and it will carry over, which I hate when that happens. I
Yeah.
really do. But my thing is, like, I don't want to go to bed mad. I've had friends in the past before where they fought with family members and they passed the next day. And it was just like,
yeah, that's tough.
my heart, I'm such an emotional person. I could never deal with something like that.
Right.
But back to what I was saying, I would address it. And then if it doesn't get fixed, I'm getting out of there.
Just like that.
For the most part,
2 strikes, you out.
maybe 3 or 4 strikes.
Okay.
But you get there.
Yeah.
Guys that keep fucking up get there fast. So I mean, I would get out of there.
Yeah. What I've learned. Here's the funny thing with doing this podcast is like,
But realization of some things.
well, we're talking about stuff and like people are listening,
Mm-hmm.
and I want everyone to kind of take this with a grain of salt.
Okay.
But what I've learned in my 6 years of being with one person,
Mm-hmm.
there could be, I guess what I call them, droughts. There could be droughts where your love language in a certain department may not be met.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
People change though. People change and people grow, and there's needs change too.
Exactly. And that's where, like, what I've learned is, one, yes, you have to communicate like what is needing to be done, but at the same time, you have to look at the full picture, as in, I mean, if we're just talking solely about love languages, there's 5 of them.
Yeah.
You know, if one isn't being met, what the other 4 looking like? You know what I'm
It just
saying?
depends. Sometimes people can focus more on other things.
Yeah, like if, let's say, physical touch was something, I mean, at a time, it was something I needed a lot. But let's say physical touch wasn't really happening a lot. Well, how's my quality time looking? You know, am I getting a lot of quality time with my partner? Yeah. What about acts of services? Am I getting a lot of that too? So, like, I think you can work through those patches, even like those rough patches, even when your needs, quote unquote, aren't being met. And truthfully, love languages are not needs, or not. They're just a great way to communicate.
No, love languages are needs.
Yeah.
Because you need to be loved. You need to feel loved in the right way.
Then I would
They
say
are
there's more than
definitely
5.
These are just like the main categories,
Yeah.
but you could probably break them down further into subcategories, obviously. But like you need these to make sure you feel loved correctly. Because if not, then it's like someone who like wants a lot of quality time and the other person doesn't, and then they don't reciprocate it at all and don't learn to grow with it. You're not going to feel loved by that person. That's something that you need.
I mean, the only reason why I would say like these aren't needs because they don't hit all the marks.
What
You know
marks
what I
are they
mean?
missing?
If someone has a bad attitude,
Mm-hmm.
that would make me feel like I don't want to be around that person. I don't want to be with this person, right? And treatment of others is not a love language, but that's a really big thing. If someone was, I don't know,
Rude to the waiter or bartender, maybe?
yeah, exactly, like
All
things
the
like
time?
that would make me feel like maybe this is not the right person.
But I feel like that's different. I feel like this isn't all of a relationship, but this is a
Exactly.
very important
And-
part.
and
It's
that's-
like the piece of the pie.
Yeah.
You know, it's not all of it. I
Yeah.
agree with you.
So it's not all the needs, but I guess it could be somewhat.
This
of
is
a
your
need.
this is your love languages. This is part of your needs. This is like out of the pie.
Mm-hmm.
This is a quarter of what you need for that. But it's not all of it.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I guess we could agree to disagree.
We
I just
always
think
do.
I just think there's just more to a relationship besides these 5 things. Like I don't think these 5 things are what makes or breaks a relationship. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you.
Okay.
I'm saying there's a big old piece of pie, right? And this is only part of what you need. It's not all of it.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
Right?
We moving on. To this train.
Bartender, we need your judgment in here.
You're agreeing with each other.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Now, could your love languages make you incompatible with someone? Like, let's
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
really?
Sorry, I didn't even let you finish, but I'll let you finish. Sorry.
No, I mean,
What was your question?
I don't think that's true. I don't think that. Like, I mean, it kind of goes back to my other case in point where I was saying, you know, there's going to be rough patches, but you got to look at the bigger picture. You got to look at all the love languages as a whole. And once again, to use me and my wife as an example, you know, Jasmine's 5 was physical touch. My number 1 way of expressing emotion was physical touch. My number 2 way of receiving love was physical touch. She wasn't touchy-feely at all with me, so she didn't also give it either, right? Would that have made us incompatible? No, because there was other elements of these love languages that were being hit. We both
Okay.
like to spend quality time together, and we both express love that way.
I got one for you. We'll see.
Okay. She also, you know, at that time, acts of services was my number 4. But she was great with my kids. And not only was she great with my kids, she would even offer to take care of them
That's an act of
sometimes.
service.
That's an act of service. But
Yeah.
that was my number 4. But that was something she was really good at, right? So I don't think that they make incompatibilities, is what I'm saying. Like even with the skew that we had, it still worked out, and here we are married. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like that's not right because you know what?
What are you gonna tell me?
My brain's going
You gonna
right
tell
now.
me it's not right? Like
It's not. I declare, It's not right. So, there's two situations. So, someone who, no, for real. Okay, so let's say someone's number one is quality time.
Yeah.
You can be incompatible for a long distance relationship because you can't handle that. That would make you incompatible because
No,
of long distance.
that would make the situation incompatible. That wouldn't make the person.
Difference.
No, because the person could be a great person, and if they just happen to live in the right place, that relationship would work. But the circumstance, you don't get what I'm saying? Okay, so there's difference between something that's the fault of the circumstances and something that's the fault of the person. So that doesn't make the person incompatible. That just makes the circumstances.
But if you can't meet those needs, then that's a problem. So if that person's love language is something you can't meet, meet those needs for any situation, then that makes you incompatible. For instance, I got one more. Sorry, I didn't mean to put.
No, go ahead.
Put my hand in. I'm so sorry. I'm not getting into this. Let's say someone's love language number one is gifts, right? Let's say that they're with someone who really can't afford it. So they're now frustrated that they're not getting it and causes tension in their relationship. And I understand that's like a circumstantial situation, but that is all part of it. You make your own circumstances as you get older. I
would also say that person's love language isn't also giving gifts or receiving, giving gifts. Like that's not something they do. Because even if you're broke, you can still give gifts. They're not going to be big ones. They may pick a dandelion off the grass and just give it to you. But that's still a gift. But if that person's love language is gifts and they have high standards, stuff like that would. But there are women like that are out there that like that. There are women that are out there that are like that. But to me, that's why is it so hard? To me, maybe I gotta drink some more water. I don't know. To me, that's that extreme level, right? So like if like toxic. Yeah, like if I was with somebody and their receiving gifts love language was so fucking high to the point to where I was giving them quality time, I was giving them physical touch, I was giving them words of affirmation, but because I'm not giving them gifts, but what if they don't want that? You can't just be like, I'm gonna give you quality time and you better be okay with that. If that is not what their love language is, you can't expect them to just accept it because that's your love language of giving. That's like forcing love on somebody. No, it's not. It's I'm doing this, so you better accept it. I'm doing this for you, so you better accept it. They don't have to. No, that's called communication and working through it. That's not forcing love on somebody. Like that. I mean, what you're saying though is, let's say their number one language is receiving gifts, right? Right. The rest of them are, let's say, 5%, 10%. Oh, then she got a fucking problem. I know she got a problem, but that's her, right? That's her. But and if you're not, and you're doing abundance of everything else, she doesn't want that. So you can't just expect her to just be like, okay, I'm gonna compromise and do this if that's what she wants and how to feel loved. Okay, I mean, and that can cause major problems. You do have a point there, but what I would say with that person, no, you do. I mean, because that person is not gonna feel appreciated regardless of what you do. Like that's an extreme level. Like that's a person that will never. But there are women that are like that. Yeah, and they're lonely and single. That's true. That's what it is. That's true. Like if you get to those extremes, truthfully, you are incompatible with everybody because they're unrealistic, right? Like acts of services. It's not realistic. There's a bunch of simps out there in the world that will buy gifts for women just because. There's if for
certain women.
For certain women, yeah. And plus, for those women, those certain women that have those high ass fucking standards.
Yeah, plus, I don't think those women love
OnlyFans, sugar baby websites.
Yeah, they want the rich one.
Yeah,
they don't. Some women, no, I guess that's gold digging. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't love them. They love the things that they're receiving. They like the way that they're being treated, but they don't love the person, and that's where once again the extreme levels makes them incompatible with everybody. I don't think there's, if someone has an extreme level of acts of service, there's nothing you could do to satisfy them. If someone has an extreme level of physical touch, there's nothing you could do to satisfy them. They'll love that action and not love you as a person.
My examples may have been extreme, but I still disagree with you. I still think that not meeting their love languages definitely can be incompatible. Because like you said, you can't just do other ones and make up for it and be like, here, take this.
You can.
You can and you can't, but the person doesn't have to accept it.
No, that's true. I mean, the person.
So that would make them incompatible.
Yeah, the person could not be willing to compromise.
What's your definition of incompatible?
is there's no possible way for it to work.
Because of
So like, okay, when I think of incompatible, I think of trying to fit a square plug into a triangle hole.
okay.
That's what I think of incompatible.
So you don't
but-
think like someone where their location is would be part of that plug?
No, because if that person moved down the street from you,
Mm-hmm.
that person is now compatible with you. It's not the person; it's the circumstances.
What about like the phrase "the one that got away"? You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
Like,
You were compatible. It's just the timing and the situation wasn't the right situation.
I don't know.
You might have met someone before and they had kids. You're like, I don't want to date someone with kids, but damn, if you didn't have kids, this would have been a perfect relationship. You were compatible. Just the situation wasn't.
Well, having kids would make them, if they don't want kids, that would make them incompatible.
But that's not love language.
Oh my God, we're getting so off topic.
No. We're right on topic.
No, we're not.
We're right.
Next question.
We went full circle to what I just said. So
I don't agree.
remember how earlier.
I don't agree.
So remember how earlier I said that love languages are not your needs because there are more things that are in a relationship that make up whether a relationship can work or not. And we talked about how they treat waiter and how they treat people. Once again, kids, circumstances, right? That's not a love language. Being broke is not a love language. Being rich is not a love language. But that may be something that fits into someone's, desires, someone's actual needs or wants in their relationship. So I just don't think that you can just dissolve it to these fives, which, there's a lot of, go ahead. Oh, you want to say something? Go ahead.
I'm not saying it's all 5. I don't know where you keep, like, you won't let this thought go, like, let it go.
I'm not saying that you said, I'm saying that.
Then what? Why are we going back and forth if we agree?
So our difference in argument was I'm saying that these are not needs, and you said that they are.
Oh, okay.
That's the
Okay.
that's the only thing that we keep arguing about is that I'm saying that these are not needs. That you can give someone one thing that's not their top love language and still make the relationship work. But there are things that are way more important that could destroy a relationship that have nothing to do with these.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
cheating,
I agree.
Being faithful is not any of the love languages.
It shouldn't have to be. You should automatically be faithful. Why is that a percentage? You should be 100% faithful. That category should be 100%. 1,000%.
Apparently, there's a group of people that don't feel that way.
My ex, his was like at -2. Like that motherfucker cheated all the time.
He might have needed an open relationship. He might just need to go that route.
He needs to, dude, because he liked my page again. I blocked him, and he liked it again recently. I'm like, what is your problem?
Wait, if you block somebody, how could they find your page again?
So when he cheated, he would make fake profiles because they would constantly change. So that's what he does.
So is he
toxic?
Is he a 50%er of quality time? Because he's really
he likes quality time with other bitches. So I don't know. Gives a percentage to each bitch. Like I have no idea.
See, I mean, that's that unsatiable desire for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they got that that toxic,
yeah, that's
true. They need it from other people.
That's
because like one
true.
person can't. Like, if you had a toxic love, one person can't meet those needs. So I don't know.
Fuck him, dude.
But yeah, like I said, I just don't think that I don't think it makes incompatibilities. I think that you can make it work. There are situations that may make things difficult, but sometimes if the situation isn't at play and you're able to look past that, then the relationship can work.
It can. I'm not saying it's not impossible or anything. I know some people, these are very important to them, and if they're not met, then they will leave. And especially, I feel like now with this generation of people that are growing up that are like
entitled.
Okay, well, that's a different story. Yes,
okay.
that's a completely, and I agree with you. I agree with you on that, but it's different. I'm talking about like, oh my God, you made me lose my thought.
Not bad.
No, it's people are not settling. People are like, if you don't do this for me, then I'm out. They're not settling at all. Yeah,
they're not compromising. So,
yeah. So I mean, it is toxic, but there's a lot of people like that now. Like I see TikToks and shit all the time. If my man doesn't do this, this, and this, and this, I'm out. And I'm like, you're probably single.
Yeah, during this podcast, I've had to do a lot of thinking about what I see on the internet because I
now you get to like depth and everything.
Well, because now I so before this podcast, I was on TikTok, but now I'm on TikTok, and I have to fucking scour the shit just to find, but
Get
like
stuck in its
any viewpoints or see
Bermuda
what's
Triangle.
going on. And there's a theme. The theme is usually age, and what I will say is this. Okay, now when I was the age of the average TikToker, was I entitled to some extent? Maybe a little bit. I don't think as much as them, because I think I was a little different in the sense of I had dated around a lot, and I had been very honest with myself when I dated around, in the sense of I knew what I did wrong. I knew what was not possible. Like it wasn't something where I got with a chick, we broke up, and it's all her fault. You know what I mean? It was like we broke up, and I'm like, what did I do wrong? Okay,
That's growth. Not a lot of people like that. Not a lot of adults are even like that. They don't take responsibility.
Most people, a lot of people don't. Not most people. A lot of people don't. But I think most people do grow, and
I think everyone
I've had to kind of take what I see on TikTok, a grain of salt. Like, just they're young. There's a lot of entitled.
They're inexperienced.
They're young, and the internet has this way of making you feel really important, especially when you're
getting the reactions.
You're young and pretty and funny. Like that plays a big role, right? So if you're having, if you're posting a TikTok and you're getting 30,000 views and a whole bunch of followers,
that's gonna go like right to your head. It's gonna
your view of how, like, what you deserve is now inflated. So when you're looking at your love languages, you're going, shit, I want someone who's touchy-feely all the time. And then you get with someone who's just not right there where you want, but they do all the other things. You're like, yeah, fuck this guy. I don't want to be with him. And I think that's wrong. And a lot of people will end up being lonely forever.
Okay, but like, what if they like to cuddle and the other person just doesn't like to cuddle and they refuse to cuddle?
Then that person's not compromising. They're both not compromising. That's the problem. Is you have to meet in the middle, because there's.
I don't feel like you have to meet in the middle with everything. Like, there's some things that can be like absolute.
Here it is. Okay, so my physical touch is number 4. My wife's is number 3. And actually, I just saw this. I didn't even realize the percentage. My wife's physical touch is actually lower than mine, even though it's number 3, because mine is tied at number 4,
but 19%,
at 19%, and hers is 17%. So actually, mine's higher. So let me try to find a different example. Okay, so let's say words of affirmation. Hers is at 27%, mine's at 19%. Now, words of affirmation is not one of my top ways of showing love. But does that make us incompatible? No. Now, if I didn't try, if I was like, you know what? I'm never giving you words of affirmation. I'm not going to tell you how much I love you, and I'm not going to tell you how much I appreciate you. Then I'm not compromising, and the relationship
it's a horrible relationship.
Exactly.
I'd be mad.
I think
tell me you love me. What the fuck?
I think in all instances the relationship would be horrible, but like, I would have to then learn how to get better at that, and I may never be at her level of doing it. I may never be at her level of needing it, but at least if I'm trying, then we can make it work. And I guess that's the point I was trying to make earlier, because like her least way of showing love was physical touch, and my number 2, and it was actually a high number 2. I mean, it wasn't like 19% physical touch. At that time, it was a buck and wild 30. Like I wanted to get it in, and she wasn't that person.
Yeah.
But she found ways to do it in a way that she was comfortable, and it may still not had satisfied me in the way that I needed it.
But you were content.
But I was content. There we go. And that's a big word.
But a lot of people don't like being content.
No,
content and settling. Like, I feel like they're in the same group. They're in the same group.
Yeah, except for one's more extreme than the other. Like, I think like
they're cousins.
Yeah, they're cousins.
Yeah,
they're cousins. They're not twins.
No.
Yeah. No, they're right in the same group. And a lot of people don't want to do that because it's even the same thing. Like now, like people don't want to work 9 to 5s. Because they don't want to
did that.
Okay,
COVID, it was like more apparent, right? It was happening, but when COVID hit and we had to lock down everyone stayed home, people were like, I don't want to fucking go back.
No, you know what did it? Social media. Because if I was...
Why are we disagreeing on everything tonight? I disagree with that.
Okay.
Why you think
So-
social media? Because people strive to be like social media stars.
Not stars, because I mean, sure, let's call them stars. Sure, social media stars. How much money are these people really racking in? Some of them are not racking in as much money as you think they are, but their life looks a certain way on social media. So now I'm going, shit, I want to be able to take time off from work whenever I want to just to take vacation. Why is this person taking vacation every week? Hell, I have the money to do that, but fuck, I don't even have the time to do that. How could I do that? Well, maybe I should be like them. Maybe 9 to 5 isn't the route that I want to go. Everyone, like right now, there's like this big push for everyone to live like this lavish lifestyle. Everyone wants to live that life. And truthfully, not everyone can live that life.
No.
I mean, this is what it is. But now we're super off topic.
Yeah, get back to it. What are we talking about?
We really only have one more question on this thing here.
Okay.
And just to
Let's hear
kind of
it.
close it out. Now, do you think overall love languages are this big deal? Like, should you base your relationship on these love languages? Should you base your choice, like not even just
So like if I took a test and let's say like our test results are completely different, so I'm gonna base if I'm gonna date you off of these results.
like are we
That's
now
crazy.
Yeah,
That's like
exactly.
astrology shit.
like on the first
Fuck
date? Are we
that.
making someone take a
Oh, I'm gonna
love
make
language
people mad.
test?
Fuck that shit.
Okay.
Sorry. That doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me, like who you are. I mean, I'm a Cancer, so some of my qualities do fit, but I'm not one of those people that are like, oh, this is your moon and rising, I can't date you because that's
Yeah.
what your moon and rising is. It's weird.
Yeah, I agree. I think they
Totally
are
distracted
good.
you.
Huh?
Did I distract you from the topic? I'm sorry. I just
No,
went
not at
on.
all. I'm just trying to get my words right. But I think that they are good. It's a good practice to use because it makes it easy to have conversations about why you're feeling a certain way in a relationship. But I do not think you should base your relationship off these love languages. I don't think you should be going on first dates and making your date take the test, and then if they don't have the results
If you
that
pass,
you
we'll go
want,
on a second date.
yeah, we not.
That's what bullshit.
That's what we not doing.
Don't even have dinner. Just get out.
Hell
Go
no.
take the test.
Dude, you fail before the appetizers come and she just leaves.
Oh my god. Or
She's like, I'm out of here,
or he
dude.
leaves and leaves you with the bill. He ordered the steak too.
If you get there before the appetizers, I mean, do you really have to pay? If you leave before that, I should just pay for the sodas.
Here's an off the cuff question. If
What?
if someone asked you on a date,
Okay.
right? Let's say you were single and someone asked you on a date, and you took it upon yourself to order an appetizer. Does
Who
he
am I
have to
expecting
pay?
to pay? Well, one, I would never do that. I never assume. I would never assume that I could do that. Well, okay, actually, no. I do assume and I don't. Because when I go on a first date, the man is paying. It's just that's how I see it. This is how it is. And we can get into that in another conversation. But I feel like the man should pay on the first date. But I don't assume what I can do with his money. Do you know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
I know if he's paying, I don't ever get the expensive things off. I kind of go cheap. I'll ask if things are going good. Actually, I wait for the server to ask.
Okay.
So they want dessert, and then I wait for his response, and then I go from there. But no, I don't ever assume what I can do with someone else's money. So no, I would never do that.
Okay. I just wanted to know. I was just curious. There's no right or wrong answer. I don't know if I ever had that situation where someone took it upon themselves. Usually when I've taken
You always buy an appetizer though at dinner, so you don't really think you've given anyone the chance.
Yeah, I usually do.
Yeah, you
But-
always do.
But usually when I take when I've done dinner dates with women, besides my wife,
Yeah, I
every
guess you'd be like,
girl-
I want an appetizer.
every
yeah.
girl was ordering like a salad or something super light, like a sandwich or some shit. Like, what are you doing? Like I took you to this nice ass restaurant. You order.
They're trying to be polite and not get something
That's not
expensive.
polite. To me, that I'm judging the hell out of you.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's not.
Then you need to
fun.
make it known that she can get whatever she wants
I
because
do.
she's probably just
I
being
do,
polite.
but they're like, oh yeah.
Or
I'll get what
she
I
wants-
want. Can I get
or
the Caesar salad?
She wants you to think she doesn't eat very well. I mean, very, very. She wants you to think that she eats better. Good.
Do you know
God, I
the
can't- my
Caesar
words are
salad
horrible
is the
today.
most unhealthy salad out
I
there?
don't-
So
I don't eat salad. I don't
I'm
know.
not saying you. I'm just saying these chicks out here. So Stop eating salads.
Most
So-
of the salads are trash for you. It's just all chock
A bunch
full
of shit together. You just put anything together called a salad.
Ton of stuff. Just
Exactly.
The
all
definition
lettuce.
is so vague.
Like, girl,
it's,
if you
it's
wanna-
healthy now.
If you want a wing, go get your wings, girl.
Wrap it in lettuce. It's a salad now.
Exactly.
It's a salad now.
Yeah, you got.
My chicken Caesar salad.
Heck yeah. So sure. All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in. We talked about what?
What was the last question that you asked?
That was the question.
What
Do you
was the
think,
question?
Do you think love languages are a big deal?
You get to answer. I never got
did.
to answer. I never got to answer.
You did. I asked you first.
No, you answered first. I think they are a big deal, but I don't think they're like the whole big deal. I think they're very important.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like, well, one thing is, I didn't know the love languages until I took until you told me that a couple years ago, and then I took the test for this podcast and stuff. But I would say they are important, but they're not. Like, because if you don't know about them, then it's just like you don't know what they are. Oh my God, I lost where I was going with this. They're important. I'm just gonna end that there because I don't want to sound like I'm stupid.
Yeah. Well, I did ask you earlier, and you did answer because I asked you if it was like a big deal, and you said no, you shouldn't base your relationship off of it, and all that good stuff. But yeah, we got you. We'll play it back. You'd be
Yeah,
like,
I'm
oh
gonna
shit.
watch it.
But anyways, yeah, we've been. I don't know how long we've been going at this or how long these episodes are, but we're trying to keep all these episodes down to 1 hour. Because it is the happy hour. And next week, we are going to be talking about breakups.
Red flags.
When is a relationship over? When do you know you should start pulling out? And the etiquette of breakups, because there has to be a decorum, right? Like you can't just,
I mean, you could be crazy and slash all the tires.
or you can't just hop in your boyfriend's DMs to let you know it's over. I've seen some fucked up breakups.
That's bad. That's bad. That's cowardly.
I think there'd be some pretty shitty breakups out there, especially in the age of social media.
Oh yeah, people
Like-
don't give a fuck about other people's feelings.
No.
When people are done with people, they don't care.
No, but
We got to save this for next
exactly. I
week.
was going to say. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about that next week. Like I said earlier, guys, we are on all the streaming services like Spotify, Apple Pod, Google Pod. Make sure you follow us on all those, so that way you get notified anytime anything Arctic House related gets posted, because we are posting frequently, and there are other new shows that will be coming to Arctic House too. We have actually 2 more in the works, so I'm pretty excited about that. If you're watching us on YouTube right now, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, so that way you can once again get the notification anytime we post anything. I really appreciate everybody for watching. It's really exciting to see all the growth since we started doing this. I would say
much growth.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot.
I mean, we started doing this 2.5 months ago, and the amount of downloads and views, I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
We're not hitting astronomical numbers, but honestly,
Progress is progress.
10 people is awesome to me, because if 10 people showed up just to hear us talk about relationships, man, that'd make me feel super special. And that's exactly what's happening. So, I got a lot of love for y'all. If you have any questions at all, hit our social media channels down there in the description below. If there's any topics you want us to cover, go ahead and shoot us a DM. We won't bite. Well, I won't bite. I don't know about Megan.
I won't bite. I'm not mean. I have an attitude, but I'm not mean. There's a difference. And I have really good resting bitch face, so that doesn't help either. Okay. Okay.
Anyways, well, this has been the happy hour, and y'all have a good night.
Bye.
Cool.